And so that leaves me with just a few general tips or a hack sheet that I've put together here. Some other little things that you might consider to increase your visibility. We've gone through some major things I think you should definitely consider. Here's a few more that may come onto your radar. Rapidly increase your backlinks. So what I'm talking about here is, well, in Australia, and apologies to my overseas colleagues here, I'm sure you'll have something similar, or I hope you have something similar, but in Australia we have a thing called the ATDW, the Australian Tourism Data Warehouse. So it's a central repository of all tourism-related businesses and activities and events. And it goes from a national database and breaks down into state-based databases. But ultimately what it is, it's just a directory. It's a web directory, which I know web directories are becoming a little bit old hat. But it's a directory, online web directory that actually encapsulates large majority of Australian tourism-related businesses and activities. The reason I encourage people to get onto it is that it immediately creates a huge number of backlinks to your property. Because by being on that listing, it then links off to the state tourism destination networks. It also links off to a number of wholesalers and other online travel agency style networks and other directories. So what it gives you is an immediate uplift in backlinks, and not just backlinks, but high quality backlinks. You're getting a backlink from a website that has tons of visitors going to it. And just a little bit of work on how backlinks operate. Backlinks is just another part of the Google algorithm and search engine algorithms that if your website is listed on another website, that asserts authority for your website. They go, oh, well, if it's on that website, they like it, so that's good. And if you're on multiple websites, that's good also. If you're on highly popular websites, that's even better. So it's about good quality backlinks. And in Australia, by registering with Australian Tourism Data Warehouse, it actually does a pretty neat job of that, all in one foul swoop. So there's a really good hack there. Look that up. Another one is Google star ratings. So this is I think I've got a cheat sheet here for this as well, but on a Google search result, you'll see sometimes you'll have a star rating come up in the actual organic search result. So what we're talking about here is not necessarily your Google review star rating. So if somebody reviews you on Google, you might have an average review rating of 4.3. This is slightly different to that. This is basically a compilation of trusted review sites and your site authority in Google's eyes, as well as a thing called schema markup, which I honestly really don't understand. All I know is that we get those things right and we get a tech and a professional involved. We can work towards getting your Google star ratings populated on Google on your organic search results. And again, it just helps you rise up the rankings and stand out in those search results. So Google star ratings is certainly something worth looking into. This is an interesting space, this next one, Google Hotel Ads. This term, like Google Hotel Finder, Google Hotel Ads, Google Hotel Listings, it's been bounced around for some time. And it's an interesting space, and let me explain why. Two of the biggest customers for Google for pay-per-click advertising are Booking.com and Expedia. They spend billions of dollars in advertising. Google intermittently will step further and further into this travel space, but they're also mindful that they're stepping into a space that they've got two of their biggest customers operating in. So they've been very cautious, and it's been in and out and it changes all the time. But there is a thing called Google Hotel Ads. What it is the Google, I talked about the Google local search results earlier. I can quickly go back. So Google local search results there. When you click on that listing and you go into the individual Google My Business, Google Maps listing for a particular property, there's a number of things that come up. And obviously you can click on your website. If you're listed on the OTAs, you also start to get pricing start to appear on your Google local search listing. And that's feeding directly from Booking.com and Expedia and What If and Hotels.com, all that sort of stuff. But the point here is that Google Hotel Ads is a way for you to list your pricing in that same space right alongside Booking.com at a fraction of the prices of the commission that you'd have to pay Booking.com. So it's typically tied into your property management software and your channel manager. It's down to their capability and their ability to provide a Google Hotel Ads service for you. The cost, or effectively the commission that you would have to pay on that, is far less than on an OTA. And it's the closest thing to a direct booking outside of people booking direct on your website. But it's shortcutting the Google local search. It's getting that couple of methods of booking direct with you on the local search functionality, and it's a really good space to have a look into. You can technically do it yourself if you've got the gurus around you. Easiest way to do it is through your channel manager and technology providers. Okay, so the other one is pay-per-click advertising, and I know I mentioned earlier about pay-per-click being out of reach for most people. Well, it is, unless you can be quite creative and specific about your search terms. And as an example, like a small property that we still run ourselves now. It's only a small property in a small country town. We run Google AdWords for that property. The reason being is that it's a small place, and the Booking.coms and the OTAs don't spend as much money on budget in that area, so you can be a chance of beating them or competing with them and getting your ad to appear. And the reason I do it is for last minute bookings. For people that are out the road, on the phone, going, we need to stay, tomorrow's the next town, search it up, and we appear in the top 4. And usually on a phone, last minute, when you're tired, you're not going to scroll down too far. So this is about going, click, bang, oh, I'm happy to pay for that, and take a punt that every second or third person that clicks will actually book. So we've been spending a modest budget on that for the last 7 or more years, and I feel it's worth every cent. The key point is here, it's because it's got a unique, I've got a unique search term or a unique situation or a unique location that isn't so competitive. So that's our tip around pay-per-click advertising. And obviously another one is all around increasing your social presence. I tread carefully here because Facebook has again just recently changed their algorithm there. But if you get social right, it can be really worthwhile. But I just don't want to trick people into thinking that social is a great way or a free way to increase your online visibility. I think it's necessary to have a profile. How much you invest into content and updating that profile is really up to you, and whether you're seeing a return on that. So you may adopt it as a complete strategy, and I think you're either all in or you just have a basic listing. But if you're really good at that and that's your skill set, I would encourage you to head down that path. It is a way you can increase your online visibility, but I often see a whole lot of work done for not a lot of results. So just tread carefully around that one there. But that brings us to a close for online hacks and some of the other bigger things that we can do around increasing your online visibility for your property, and we wish you well with that.